And hello again, I think we're recording. How you doing? Sorry, I might be a little bit distracted. I think I mentioned before 2 of our cats had a bit of a falling out. Millie and Coco. I've got them back in here again at the moment, just letting them test the waters. I've slowly been building up the amount of time they spend together, but they have both just gone down the side of the sofa there together. So they seem to be okay. It seems to be okay. Millie's looking at me, she seems happy. So I think we're okay. So if I appear a little distracted, I do apologise. But yeah, right, so back again for another video. I was thinking about what I said previously, and I've never really spoken about my belly button removal. I figured I would actually finally make a little video about it after all these years. So what on earth has taken me so long to actually make this a topic? I don't quite know, to be honest. It's been so long, I actually don't even quite remember how long ago it actually was. I want to say 6, if not maybe even 7 years ago, I actually had it removed. I mean, I was making videos back then. Oh, now we got Parsnip over here as well. I was making videos back then, and for some reason I just never really put it on screen. I don't know why, just haven't. So I figured maybe it's about time I actually finally did. And so yes, I went to Sampa von Cyborg for the procedure. I contacted him via, I think it may have been I'm trying to remember. Actually no, I don't think it even was. I think it might have been, might have even been an email from his website or something. But yeah, he was doing a tour pretty much all around Europe, I believe. And some of the dates he had was in England. He came to London, and I was able to get in touch with him and yeah, tell him what I was after, and he was happy to do it. And so I did speak to him. I mentioned that my belly button was a little bit strange because excuse me, because I used to have the stretch belly button piercing. Not that the piercing itself was ever particularly big. I had always hoped to get it a lot bigger, surprise, surprise. But I got it up to, I think it was about 6 millimeters, 6 or 8 millimeters. I say this was quite some time ago, so I don't even really remember exactly how big I got that. But it was, yeah, as I'm pretty certain I mentioned before, I had a rather unfortunate event where I was in a club and I was sitting at a table with some friends, and I went to stand up and lean over the table, and I caught the jewellery on the edge of the table, and it ripped. It didn't rip completely out. It wasn't like, you know, like how you see a split earlobe completely ripped in half, but it did a lot of damage to the piercing. It was very painful. There was quite a bit of blood, and it just, following that, it just never really properly settled down again. It sort of mostly healed, like it all the swelling went down and it stopped bleeding, there were no scabs and things, but it just never quite fully settled down after that. So eventually I just gave up and took it out completely. So going into this procedure, I had a bit of a mangled up belly button to begin with. And basically I mentioned this to him, and he said it should be okay, we'll have a look when we get there and actually so he can see it properly up front and decide on how to proceed. And so that's how we went forward. And when I actually met up with him, he had a little look just to see exactly what he was working with, and he said up front it's entirely possible that we will need to do a second procedure due to all the additional scar tissue. It may not heal flat. He said it might do, it might not. But there was a reasonable chance that we would have to go in for a second chance to really flatten everything out and to make it nice and smooth, just because of all the additional scar tissue. Oh, there's Coco. Just because of all the additional scar tissue. But And yeah, he was completely right about that. I'll not quite sure how this is going to work, but I'll attempt to show you what we've got going on. I don't know if you'll see a great deal on camera anyway. It's not like a massive amount of scar tissue or anything. But here we go. So there was my belly button. It was about there somewhere. Like when I sort of scrunch over a bit, you can still see where the scar pulls it in, so it's not completely flat. I think you can just about, right next to my little finger there, that's the scar left behind by the old belly button piercing. And then you might, I'm hoping you can see there's sort of a white line through the middle where you can see the stitches have gone through. That's the actual, what was left by the actual procedure itself. And so yeah, if I hunch over a bit like that, you can see it more obviously. But in order to completely make it 100% flat, I would need to have a second procedure. And that's something I certainly hope to do at some point in the, I won't say the near future, but maybe a project to do, maybe a couple of years' time, 2 or 3 years' time. Something I'd like to get done relatively soon. And yeah, something I would like to get done relatively soon. So I'll say within the next 2 or 3 years, that's something I would quite like to get finished off. Just because it's been so long, and it's my own fault, I just haven't put any effort into getting it sorted out, so that would be quite nice. Oh, all the cats going loopy. That would be quite nice to have that finished and done once and for all. That'd be quite nice. And then that'll also make it easier with the whole more black tattoos, basically, because I won't have to worry too much about, if I were to get it done before getting the area blacked out, I wouldn't have to worry too much about having to then go back again and cover up a potential scar or potential whatever's left after the second procedure. So that remains to be seen whether or not I will get that done before actually tattooing it. I might just bite the bullet and say, yeah, tattoo the area and then go back again later and do it. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, for anyone curious, I do have my belly button in a jar. I will, I've got it here. Let me just check you can more or less see it. Right, so anybody who doesn't want to see this, and I completely understand if you don't, feel free to look away now. And yeah, here it is. I'm going to focus. That right there is my belly button. Yeah, it's basically in a jar of pure alcohol. I've kept it it's stayed in here ever since the procedure, and I have basically just kept it in a cupboard actually it's in our kitchen. So yeah, there is the actual belly button itself. So yeah, just in case there's any questions or any doubt that it's not attached to me anymore, it's in that jar. It's not attached to me. It is in this jar. Now, yeah, hopefully that didn't gross too many people out. I did give you a warning saying it was coming up, so yeah, anyway, that was a bit of fun. But yeah, so touch wood, it's something I will finally get finished off sooner rather than later. And, what are you doing up past it? Hopefully it's something I will get finished off sooner rather than later. Let's put you on camera, madam. Hey. Don't think she liked being picked up there. Hopefully that's something I will get finished off sooner rather than later. And we can, calm down, you two. They're going at it now. We're doing well. And yeah, and that'll be nice and done, finished. I am tempted to, whatever second little lump I have removed, also put that in the same jar, possibly. I'll have to think about that a little bit closer to the time. I mean, I've got the main part in that jar, obviously. So, but yeah, yeah. So that's quite an interesting little experience. I won't go too much into the actual procedure itself. So I don't know if that's necessarily appropriate for YouTube. Not that I'm certain that was, but you know what I mean. So, but yeah, it wasn't a particularly unpleasant procedure as such. There was certainly an unusual moment during the point where I guess you would say the actual belly button itself separated. You almost feel it sort of release inside you. It's very strange. It's quite a unique experience, and nothing I've ever experienced, even nothing really similar to it in any other situation. So that in itself was quite a unique experience, and I'm pretty certain I'll remember that more or less forever. But yeah, all in all, it's been, like I say, a long time. And why I've waited this long to make a video about it, I don't know. I had videos posted on, well, not videos, sorry, photographs of it posted on my old I Am account back years ago. But yeah, just for whatever reason, never gotten around to making a video about it. So here you go, something a little bit different. That is my first experience of any type of even mild amputation or nullification, whatever category that would fall in. And hopefully it won't be the last. And yeah, I will leave it there, because that will probably be something else I speak about in other videos coming up. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed that, something a little bit different, something perhaps a little bit more intense than some of my other videos. And yeah, I'll give you one last look at the belly button, and then I'll say goodbye. So again, if you don't want to see it, turn off now, and I will see you all again soon in another video. There you go.